was thinking what I remembered about each one of you. And I remember, Andy, you would do impersonations all the time.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
And you would dance on my shoes. Like you would stand on my shoes and we would dance occasionally, which now you can't do that anymore. But Matt, you had lizards.
And
Still does.
That has not changed.
We got a lot of them.
Joey, what I remember about you specifically,
Oh, God.
you showing off your abs all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All the time. I remember Andy impersonations, Matt lizards, Joey abs.
Abs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember
It's
it.
about right.
That's weird. That escapes me. Do these abs make me look fat? Happy Friday, everybody!
Happy Friday,
Welcome back to the Brotherly Love Pod.
I am so excited
The
about
Brotherly
this.
Love Pod to Pod. We are all very excited
excited
about
about
this.
today.
We
Yes.
have a reunion 25 years in the making.
Absolutely.
25 years!
Yep, and it has very much to do with the Brotherly Love title
Absolutely.
of our
it does.
podcast.
Yes, it does.
Big moment in our lives.
Big moment.
It holds a lot of personal meaning to us, right? Working together like we
Yes.
did.
Yep.
Parents producing, a big family affair, right?
Yep.
A really beloved show for a lot of people. They come up to us all the time and,
And
say,
especially for us.
absolutely, absolutely. And we have an integral part of Brotherly Love, the television show that existed in the 90s.
Yep.
An integral part of that show here with us today. And we literally have not seen her
Nope.
in 25 years.
It's just
been
it's been,
crazy.
How does that even
it's
happen?
been
I
way
don't know.
too long. I don't know why.
That's
but
absolutely
life-
obnoxious.
It is.
It actually makes
I'm
me feel
actually
bad.
insulted for myself.
Me too.
Yes, me too.
I've insulted me.
I
that
know.
We've not seen her before that.
I know.
Anyway, everybody, welcome
Huge
Liz
round of
Vassey.
applause.
Liz Vassey!
Vassey!
She played Lou
Liz!
on Brotherly Love.
What's
Yes,
going
this-
on?
I cannot believe
Wow.
Years.
this. What, 25 years?
Hi.
And wait a minute, you said that
You look amazing, by the
Liz,
way.
you look fantastic.
Just gotta
Thank you
say,
very much. You do
gorgeous.
too. Except I can't believe Andy's not 7 anymore. I
I
mean, the last
know.
time I saw Andy, you were 7 or 8 years old. So
I
this is a
know.
little jarring
Wow.
to me.
Yeah,
I know.
because
Wow.
you're
He's
kind of a
35.
man.
Andy's
Yeah.
35.
I'm 35.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's not a joke.
Liz, I'm 47.
Oh.
What? What the hell? What the hell?
You've always been a couple of years younger than I. We were always about the same age. But Andy, this is
Yeah.
really bizarre. You look great.
Hey,
You-
thanks. You know,
you grew up
thanks.
well. You did well.
That old chip off the old block. You know?
Oh, shut up,
Uh.
Andy. Andy's getting a lot of social media love. Everyone's
Oh,
like, wow,
gosh. Oh,
the
boy.
young one, the young brother.
Oh,
and he
boy.
loves
I
it. He loves
No,
it
it's
every
just-
minute
it's
of
so
it.
nice.
Not only does he
No.
loves, he's using
Oh,
it.
He is
boy,
using
that's
it.
not
He's using
Yeah.
it against us.
Yes.
I gotta say, I watched the first episode, and your podcast is great. But I will say that I'm definitely Team Andy because there was an entire conversation about the elderberry lozenges that went on for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
which 2 of y'all were sucking on into the mic.
Thank
And
you.
Andy said,
Thank
take
you.
it out of your mouth
Thank you.
and
True.
don't have a lozenge in your mouth while you're talking into the microphone. And I just want to say, Andy, you were absolutely right.
I appreciate
So
that.
it's
Thank you very much.
and Liz, thanks for picking up on that. You know, when we
See,
first
guys,
started,
Thank you
when
for
we
the-
when we first started, we were not podcasters.
No,
at
no.
all.
We're still not. I don't even know
No,
what
we're
we are.
Still not podcasters.
We just sit here and talk.
But I did realize I had lozenges, I had gum.
Matt uses
I
the-
was off the mic.
well, he
I was
also
hitting the table.
Yeah, Matt likes to use the table
was
as
a
a
mess.
bongo when
That
he
was a mess.
talks.
Well,
He's
it's
going
just that I'm the
boom.
youngest sibling in my family, so I'm automatically going to side with Andy anyway.
love
But
it.
in particular, like right out of
Okay.
the gate, I thought, yeah, he's right. He's absolutely right.
See?
I appreciate that. I
Just like the old days, right, Liz? Just like the old
Just
days.
shut up. You're such a just shut up. So you were saying that like brotherly love has been surrounding your sphere lately. Or
You can't get away from
your
us.
aura, your life, right? Because you said you were at some con or something and ran into Jonathan Schmock.
You
Yeah,
explain who
well,
that
I mean,
is.
first of all, there was a 25-year absence, and I blame Joey and only Joey for that. But
Sure, why not? I'm the
25-year
oldest.
absence, and then suddenly I'm on my way to go do a con, and I get a text out of the blue from Andy saying, "Is this still you?"
Yep.
And so that was funny enough. And then I get there, and then Jonathan Schmock is there, and then one of our writers, Rob, who now writes on The Simpsons, he was there, and then someone
Unbelievable.
at the con came up and asked all about brotherly love, and so it was just sort of strange. In one day, in literally 24 hours, it was
See how
everywhere.
that works?
Except
See how
for
the
Disney
universe
Plus,
works?
which I
And
think we
Jonathan-
should discuss.
Jonathan Schmock, believe it or not, he was the co-creator of Brotherly Love.
It was
right?
Jonathan Schmock and
And-
Jimmy Valley.
and Jim
And
Valley.
you can actually, he was an actor too.
He was.
and he had a pivotal kind of role in
Infamous. If you grew up in the 80s,
Yeah.
or if you've ever seen, because my oldest daughters, Charlie 17 and Libby who's 13. I make them watch Ferris Bueller all the time.
There
But
it is.
Jonathan Schmock had
Ferris
one of the most
Bueller.
pivotal roles in that, where he was the snooty maitre d' at the very nice
right.
restaurant that Matthew Broderick
Sausage
as Ferris
King of Chicago.
Right. You're Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago. That's me.
So great.
Why are you being so snooty? Snooty, snotty.
Snotty.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Jonathan Schmock, shout out to John. What's up,
buddy?
buddy? But yes, him and Jim Valley created actually a really great show, and that to this day. And you were just saying this, and we get asked all the time, why is Brotherly Love not on what?
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was a Disney show. It was on Disney Channel. I mean,
know.
it was very successful in a second run on Disney Channel. I have no idea why it's
In fact, I think it lasted longer on Disney Channel than it did
On NBC.
on NBC.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Too. I think
Very
so too.
weird.
Yeah,
Very
because we
weird.
started, didn't we? We started on NBC, right? And then
Right.
we
Yeah.
moved to
Warner
was it
Brothers.
WB at the time?
Yep.
WB.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, we
Yeah,
did.
that's
We
right.
did.
I remember
Well,
that. But it was
because-
only 2 years. It doesn't feel like it was only
I
2
know.
years, but
No.
partially because
I know.
your family, like I was thinking about this before, right after Andy texted me. It was just, your family was so amazing. And particularly for me, because my parents had gone through a divorce and my family was all the way across the country. And so it was like, I mean, it's hard to describe to people, but you guys traveled in a pack. And
Mhm.
I was having these really nice memories about you called your grandpa Papa, was that right?
Papa,
Yep.
yes.
Because I remembered that we went off for your 21st birthday, Joey. We went horseback riding to a movie, bowling, to lunch, to dinner. And I remember that Pop was on a horse. And I said,
Oh, yeah.
"You're doing really well." And he looks at me and he goes, "Born in a saddle." Oh,
Oh my God.
So Pop.
I remember Liz going, Pop. I remember you saying
Oh,
Pop.
my
Oh my gosh.
God.
Wow. You see, and that warms my heart so much
Yeah.
because you were also around for those days. I mean, we
Yeah.
obviously, our Pop-Pop's not with us anymore. You know, we don't have those days anymore. So
No.
to have you a part of
Cherished.
those memories is so cool.
Cherish
Yeah,
it.
Bring
Yeah,
up some really
I mean,
great,
yeah.
great memories.
Those were really some of the halcyon days for us, you know?
Yeah.
And,
for sure.
you know, it's our parents are divorced now, right? I mean, it's just life is crazy. It just, it's,
Yep.
it takes all these unexpected all these unexpected twists, I should say, in this journey. And, you know, look, you have to realize that that's life, and you treasure the right now, you know, honestly, like, and if you were to always treasure the here and now and not worry so much about what what happened or what's going to happen, well, then, you know, honestly, like, these guys are both like rolling their eyes because I'm the oldest
Here
one.
we
They're like,
go.
"Here
Joe
we
and
go
his
again."
philosophy.
But I really tried to embrace that because
No, you're
life
right,
has been
though.
a journey for me
You're
too,
right.
these last 4 or 5 years. You know, very unexpected, and things happen, and man, you go through all this stuff, and you're just like, what is going on? You know, and if you focus on that, boy, you'll be. I mean, it's over.
It'll take you
Really,
down.
it'll
You got to
take you
stay
down.
in the positive. You
So
got to stay in the
have to
now.
stay in the now and say, okay, look, this is part of the journey. It is a crazy ass bumpy ride. But the good news is I have these beautiful memories that I can think about, and I'm living this moment, and I'm healthy in this moment, and I'm able to do this moment, and I'm being here with these guys and you here today, and this is a great moment. So, like, things are okay, you know? And that's like...
Keep
what you
telling
guys-
yourself that, Joe.
Yeah, shut up.
Keep on
Oh,
telling. Who
boy.
are you talking to
This
right
sounds
now?
like a really
Yeah.
sad story.
Sorry. Okay,
This is going south quickly,
Getting
Joe.
sadder by the minute, you putzies.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
Do
what's
you
going on
remember,
there?
I had a best friend. I still have a best friend. Her name was Juliet, but she's Bert to me. I called her Bert, and Bert.
I
used to
remember
come
this.
home.
Yes.
Well, I remember this.
Good, let her talk. Shut up.
So Bert and I are still. That's a good older brother. So Bert and I are still the very best of friends. But at the
Wow.
time, you know, and I think I was 23 or 24 on that show, around there, I guess. And she used to say to me, "Just remember, these are the salad days." And I was like, "What the hell are the salad days?" I had no idea what she even meant by that. And now I was talking to her the other day, and I was like, "Wow, you were totally right. They were the salad days." Like, but I love that I had a friend there that was constantly reminding me of that in a
That's
really
cool.
nice way. You know, like she was basically going. I mean, at the time, Bert and I were living in this apartment complex that was owned by the Van Patten family. Do you know the Van Pattens from?
I
like, 80s?
remember that. I remember you saying that. Yes,
Yeah.
you told me that then. Yes, Dick Van Patten, right? They were like, Yeah, he was an actor. I remember the Pattons. Yeah, of course.
He was the dad on Eight Is Enough. And
Eight
he
Is
had
Enough.
These 3 sons,
Wow.
and the 3 sons were always dating like these really amazing women. So at any given time at this apartment complex, it would be like Nicolette Sheridan would wander in and lay out by the pool, or Yasmin Bleeth would come in and lay out. I mean, it did a number on our egos, definitely. But so we're living there, and we would have these massive parties with like 100 people, and and then the job with you guys. It was just a really fun, magical time.
Yeah,
So
sure. That sounds fun.
You guys were a big part of that. Even
you know what? We feel the same way about you. We feel the same way about you. It was really just it was the pinnacle of our youth, that moment there, because we were in a position to sort of put something together, create something, have it on the air. You win that lottery of like shooting a pilot and then getting picked up and then going to series, right? That's like the lottery ticket for any actor. And then we were able to sort of be in control of that, and then be a part of allowing great people, having great people like yourself involved in that with us on that journey. And yeah, man, that was pretty amazing.
It really was.
Really an amazing moment to be able to experience that for
Really
years,
I wasn't in the pilot either initially.
I know.
I wasn't the original Lou. Another actress was Lou, who's terrific, but she was tied to another show. So I had to come in and audition to be the replacement. I'd done another show for NBC where I played a mechanic. No, I played a superintendent of a building. And so when the part became open, NBC was like, let's put her. We know that she looks fine with a smudge on her cheek, so let's just throw her in there and have her do this.
Wow, we got very lucky.
Like I just got thrown into this. Oh my God.
We got very lucky.
But I also too remember,
Liz, you haven't changed.
No, you really haven't. You look so good.
No, yeah,
Wow.
It's pretty awesome. But I do remember specifically, I don't even know if you know this, but specifically Joe and Mom, and then of course us, the minute we met you, it was done for us, and we went to bat because we were like, nope, Liz is it. Nope, Liz is it. We're not taking it. And they wanted to leave. We could show you more. And we're like, nope, we don't want to see another. You were it for us.
Yep.
So
it's true.
I don't know how, if NBC had whatever, but when it came to you, it was done.
The universe provided.
Yeah.
Provided us Liz.
Yep.
See?
Well, I remember seeing the pilot with the other actors, and I loved the pilot so much. And I hope you take this the right way, but it was so much better than it had to be. Like it was a family show, and so you think one thing going in, but because John Schmock and Jim Vallely, they're such incredible writers, and you guys were so great in that pilot. I was so taken with it. Like I thought I had just finished this other job, and I thought, well, it's wide open. I can see what I want to do. I can audition for other things. And then I saw it, and I was so just charmed completely by it. It was such a beautiful thing. And you guys have such great chemistry, obviously, because you're doing this now too. But
yeah,
it was terrific. It was terrific.
We've devolved. We've devolved into a basement and some microphones. But somehow
we used to be on NBC, and now we're here.
You know what's funny though? It's NBC isn't NBC anymore.
Know,
you don't want to be on
devolved.
NBC anymore, pretty much.
I mean, it is so wild the way things have happened. I mean, you look at what. I mean, yeah, we're doing this. Like the whole world is upside down. It's just a strange.
But to be honest, I feel like we can have more impact with this.
Yeah,
I truly do now.
Yeah.
I really honestly feel like you can have more of an impact in this type of a platform than you can now on those older type of platforms.
Yeah, it's possible.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, everybody's gotten a bit more authentic, right? Like I think it's really nice. People are showing who they really are. And even just talking about like what Joey was saying about family before, and you lose people and going through life and trying to be in the here and now. I think people are much more likely to talk about things like that now. I feel like back in the 90s, especially, it was all about image and what you look like and what you were putting out there. And I think we're becoming more honest. I think we've been forced into it. I think
you're right.
Being locked in our homes for 2020 and just everything we've gone through. I think, collectively as the human race, we're just starting to get a little more open with each other. And I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
I
actually agree with you.
Podcasts and hearing people talk as themselves.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love. Did you guys start doing this because of the pandemic? Was this
we did?
Sort of
That's exactly why we started this thing. Yeah,
Somebody snuck into our house and held a gun to our heads and said, "You got to do a podcast."
that's not true.
No,
we didn't. That's not.
No,
that's
we
not
were
true.
actually all doing. Speaking of a convention,
yes,
we were all doing a convention.
Yes,
and we were all worried that everything was about to be shut down, and sure enough, it was. And at that convention, we were like, what can we do if this world shuts down? We were like, we don't know. And then the world shut down. So we actually had to sit down and think about it. And we were like, well, we started a production company.
Yeah.
We were trying to make movies, but that was still really hard. You guys actually did make one during that pandemic.
We made a couple.
And it was really, you made a couple, and it was really difficult.
Yeah.
They had all these different,
Sucked.
it was terrible.
Yeah.
So then and then another huge pause, and we were just sitting here going, well, we've got lots to talk about.
We kept finding ourselves around a table talking. We were like, maybe we should just,
do this.
record this.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I wrote my way through the pandemic. I started writing, actually.
That's amazing.
Segued out of acting. So I was doing a show, and in my 5th year, the EP, the executive producer, asked if I wanted to write an episode.
Fantastic.
And I said yes before I could possibly say no and be scared about it. So I said yes, and I wrote the episode. And I had the most incredible time just doing pre-production, post-production, all of it. It was like, because you guys understand this, I started acting when I was 9, and I started acting in TV, which was late for you three, but at 15, 16. But I've been doing it my entire life, and I still like it, but I don't love it with the same ferocity that I used to love it with. Right. So the writing was just sort of like, oh, wow, I can be creative, but I can go out on a completely different limb, and I can do it in a completely different way. So I started selling pilots after that, and it's been incredible. But I was writing a movie over the pandemic, and it kept me going because I had something to do and something to be creative about. I thought that was really important for all of us in the industry, for everybody, just to find some sort of outlet.
Yeah,
it really is.
That is really cool. That's what Andy was doing.
Yeah, you figure out that you just love making movies or shows or whatever it is. You love the whole process, and it's not about
being
so
the
much
center of attention,
so much, or even
anymore.
between action and cut. It's more about the whole journey of it and all the different assets and all the different pre and principal and post and all that great. Just it's really. The art is there, and you can still stoke that creative flame even more so behind the camera because you're just more involved. It's awesome.
Honestly, I think the pandemic forced a lot of people to stretch their wings in a lot of different ways. I mean, we're all in the creative space, right? So sure, obviously writing, and Andy went into writing and directing, and we went into producing, and I actually even wrote I wrote a movie with my wife that we sold to Fox, and it was on Tubi, this romantic comedy. I had never written anything. She had never written anything. And Andy directed
it. showed.
And Andy, no.
Sorry.
Wow.
Liz, we need your help over here.
We actually no, and we're gonna deal with that off the air. I'm sorry, but no, and then Andy directed it for us, and it was just like romantic comedy.
You say, hold on, the cameras go black. You just hear.
I've got a shiner when we come back.
The cameras come back on. Matt's just sitting in the studio.
Liz is talking to us while you guys are over here doing a vaudeville sketch.
I want to know what it's called. I want to see
it's called Frankie Meets Jack. Now we made it, and look, no, hold on, wait. No, it's called Frankie Meets Jack. No, it's called Frankie Meets Jack. It's a romantic comedy. It's on Tubi, which is Fox's streamer. And Andy directed it for us. And you know what? Look, you always have constraints when you're making those kind of movies, right? Because we wrote a script. It was sort of like a When Harry Met Sally type thing, and then you get into the process, and everyone's got their notes, and you know the process,
1/18
right?
of the budget, and
then
no locations.
No, and then
and you realize, oh my god,
no, you set your
what
mind.
have I got myself into?
And you're like,
I don't want to write and make this movie.
Stand against that wall.
Yeah,
roll.
No, and it's look, it's
we've got 36 hours to make this film. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's true though. It's always a process when you're starting, right? And we had our hands tied in a lot of different ways, but it's still something that
it's very charming.
I know my wife and I
great.
are proud that we were able to do it,
yeah.
And that we were able to get it made. And it's actually a really charming little movie for what we had to do it for and with,
awesome.
And Andy directed the crap out of it, and it's
fun.
It is what it is. But I'm still very proud that we were able to do that, because it was not easy to do, especially in the pandemic. It was just not.
How was it working with your wife? How was it? I've never written anything with my husband. I've been married for 19 friggin' years, by the way.
Wow.
What?
Congratulations.
Wait, you've been married 19 years?
That's awesome.
Wow.
Very cool.
He's a Steadicam operator. I was doing a movie in Texas, and I met the Steadicam. I pulled the Julia Roberts. I was like, oh, that. So we met. We were engaged after 3 months. We got married 3 months after that, and I've been married for 19 years.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's
I love
amazing.
That.
But
Which is,
very cool.
I mean, especially just. You guys knew me then. I wasn't the one most likely to get married right away, but I fell.
That is so cool.
I've never written with him before. We've never really worked together beyond the movie. When we met.
You know what's crazy is that Sam and I we met actually The first movie that Andy did during the pandemic was a movie called, well, it was, what did it end up being
Just
called?
call it Deadly Deed.
It was Deadly Deed, but then he sold it.
Who knows?
He
It
sold
was a Lifetime
He sold it to Lifetime,
adventure,
and the
they,
Lifetime turned into My Husband's Secret Brother, which was the whole twist in the film, but they gave it as the title, of course. 'Cause that's what Lifetime
Yeah, that's what they love to
it's
do.
basically-
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's basically like if you would rename The Usual Suspects, Kaiser Soze did it. I mean, that's,
That's pretty much.
well, that
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
kills the whole film,
Yeah.
But anyway, for anyone who's seen Usual Suspects, it's a brilliant film.
Yeah.
However, be spoiler alert, but I'm allowed because it's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Kaiser Soze's the killer, but you don't know this the whole movie. However, if you'd called it that, it would have been slightly anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But regardless. And it was during the pandemic, and
I think-
Andy loves to tell this story.
What?
But he wrote this script.
Oh, yeah, I do like to
where
tell this story.
and the very first day, first of all, it was the pandemic. We didn't know what the hell. Early
Should I
pandemic.
tell the story real
We
quickly?
didn't know what the hell was going on.
Let me tell the story real
And
quick.
you know what? You've told it, and it never gets
No,
old,
it does.
so
Check it
tell
out.
It again.
Well, no, it's just really good because Joe, as you know,
This
is
is
not
really good because I get to make fun of Joe.
Joe
which
is,
he
is
loves.
not a germaphobe, but he likes things. He likes things clean. So the pandemic really rocked
tidy.
him.
I like things
And
tidy.
on the first day of set, he's like, "Listen, I don't know who this actress is, but I'm not going near her. I'm not touching her. I'm not kissing her. I'm not doing anything." I'm like, Joe, it's it's like a Lifetime thriller. Like you probably have to lay next to each other in a bed, and there's like
What?
scenes lit. And he's like, "No, I'm not doing it. I will not do it." So he wouldn't kiss her, and there's the scene where they're laying in bed, and he would not lay normal. He laid like a corpse, like he was almost levitating above. His head wasn't even on the pillow. I was like, "Joe, you look
touch
ridiculous." He's like, "Listen, I don't know
case.
who's in these sheets. I don't know this person next to me, and there's
First
a
of all-
pandemic." Anyway, he ended up marrying this lady, and I'm like, "This is you could have made my life a lot easier."
If it hadn't been
marrying.
If it hadn't been for my brother directing, but let me tell you something. If anybody else other than my brother directing, he came over to me. He's like, "Joe, you're not playing the corpse bride. You have to look like a human."
Yeah.
I would have
He
knocked
literally,
him out.
I'm
I
not
almost
kidding though.
knocked him out.
He was
actually.
like literally arms crossed, his head was above the
Sam
pillow.
still makes fun of me too.
His veins were pulsing out of his.
he's holding his head
his
up?
core. He's just flexing his core, and he didn't want to be in that bed. And it was so
I
obvious.
was trying to get a workout in. I was using the core muscles.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Now, have
Yeah.
you haven't had to do a lot of love scenes? Is that new for you?
Well, I actually have not had to do a lot of love scenes, but certainly during a pandemic where I didn't know what the hell was going on with this weird alien bug that was around, and long story short is that this was a very last minute casting because we were trying to get it together. The movie came together. We had to.
It was.
We had to find it.
No,
And
it was
I didn't
a-
have
yeah.
a chance to even. I didn't know who this leading lady was. I
As
was
mo-
like,
as
so I'm
most-
going on set.
Well,
I have no
actors-
idea who I'm acting with.
They don't have a lot of time to get cozy before you guys work together. What are you talking about?
I at least get
De
to-
Niro over here? I need at least 6 months prep.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm sorry, not today.
No, but I would have been able to just at least, I don't know, do a little research, see who this is. I had no idea. I was going in blind and cold.
Boy,
so
I gotta say.
So the irony is, we met. She's an amazing person, greatest person ever, and we fell in love. And believe it or not, 3-4 months later, I realized, oh my gosh, this really is the right person for me. And then 2 years later, we got married. So a year and a half later, 2 years later. But regardless. Yes, when you least expect it, great things happen. So
it was unbelievable. It was
Yeah.
really, it was so evident from the start. Things just kept happening that were kind of like a kick from the universe going, this is the guy for you. This is the person you're meant to be with. And he's just incredible. He's absolutely incredible. We're disgusting. We're just that couple. We're the couple that I used to make fun of in my 20s. But it's one of the things I'm most grateful for in this life is just that we are just it. It is. If this doesn't work, I'm not trying again. I'm done.
Yeah, but-
so
I'm
that
so
is
happy for you,
amazing.
Liz. So happy for you on that one.
Yeah.
no, it's great.
You know what's funny though? I
Great.
actually have a
It's
love.
It's really great. When it's right, it's amazing.
Joe, I've got
Truly.
I've got a love scene for you that you never would have made it through.
Okay.
This would have killed you, Joe.
What?
Okay.
Okay,
But you made it through.
I made it
You're
through.
the real on-screen
No,
lover.
actually, I didn't.
guy over
I
here.
didn't. I didn't make it through. I mean,
What
I
a screen lover!
I
am.
barely made it through.
If I say it about myself, Joe.
No.
What a screen lover!
No, that's not
That's
what
a
I'm
word
trying
on
to
the
say.
street, at least.
No, it was awful.
The town,
actually.
Everybody's saying
the town talks about it. you know?
Everybody's saying it about my love
No,
scenes.
just the
What a
opposite.
putz.
Okay, I did this movie
You're
where I
Geronimo.
was literally cast. My role was the guy that this lady sleeps with at a truck stop.
Oh yeah, actually, he did.
Okay,
do this.
we were shooting at a motel truck stop in Palmdale in the middle of August.
Classy.
It was 114 degrees. The air conditioner in the motel went out.
Director
Okay?
sabotaged it.
They have the
probably.
lights of this. They're talking about closed set, and it's a pretty explicit scene. She's completely nude.
Whoa.
I at least had a sock on, even though they told me maybe I should not. I was like, this is a lot, guys. I was like, I'm keeping the sock on. She gets heat exhaustion, gets sick, and starts vomiting.
What?
While she's
On you?
dude.
Ew.
She's on top, completely
She vomiting
naked,
on you?
and she's vomiting off the side of the bed, and then we're supposed to go into the love scene.
Oh,
It was.
Are you serious, dude?
It was one of the most for me even.
How did this day at work turn into The
It was awful.
Exorcist?
It was
You say,
awful.
Excuse me, do you have a little Banaka?
It was.
or
It was
a breath
really.
mint?
It was really bad.
He just
But
pulls out one of
here's
those
the
little
problem.
vomit bags
Wait.
from an airplane.
No, he's just dumping those little breath strips. He's got like 14 of them in his mouth
dude.
to where he can't even feel his nose
That's
anymore.
just wild.
Air freshener.
Ah, no.
It was brutal, guys.
No.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
Maybe it was the sock. Maybe the sock was just better.
Thanks, Liz.
It could have
Way
been
to
the
go.
sock.
You're making
I'm
her
just
vomit,
saying.
man.
I should have taken the sock off. Like that one.
So wait, when they talk about the Matt being an on-screen lover, they equate it to her throwing up.
Yeah, I made her. She was projectile vomiting.
Wow.
I had this crazy love scene, dude, and this woman was throwing up everywhere. What? Wow, that's a real
So
one to
true.
put on the. Oh gosh,
It was awful.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
really awful.
Wow.
Yeah, awful.
When I worked with you, how old were you, Matt, when we did that show?
That was probably like 13,
You were
14?
You were
13 or 14.
It was
Because
were 15
No,
when
no
we
way.
started.
No way.
95, bro.
It's got to have been before that. We got to check the dates because I.
No, yeah,
I just checked the
I
dates.
was-
I
I
went in
was-
my mind and I checked.
I
them.
was 6, and you're 8 years older.
Yeah, it was 96.
So do
So
the
you were
math.
16. You look 12.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The only reason. The
You
only
were
reason.
all- but you guys were all such. It was so funny because I'd never done a show with people who were considered like these teen heartthrobs, and so my
Right.
biggest memory of doing that with you guys. So funny because we'd come out and do the bows. We'd come out and say hi to the audience before we
Oh,
start
yeah.
the taping.
yeah.
So my character's name was Lou, and we'd start the taping, and then the big crowd would be out there, and all these girls were screaming, "Joey, Joey, Joey!" And then you'd come out and you'd wave, and they're like, "Ah!" And then they'd go, "Matt, Matt, Matt," and he would wave, and they're like, "Oh!" And then Andy, and then there'd always be one dude in the back of the audience who would go, "Lou." That's my name.
Like
It's just, like every week I have
just
one
had-
guy.
we had Rob Schneider in the audience doing one of
Oh
his
my God.
iconic one-liners.
Oh my God.
Lou.
Yeah. Lou.
Yeah. And it turned out to be the guy I married.
Hey!
Wow.
You know what?
Wait
It's
a minute.
always good to marry a
He's
stalker.
playing the long
Always
game.
good. I highly recommend it. No, I mean, no, that's amazing. Lou, the one guy in the back.
Lou.
That's
Yeah, geez.
Hilarious.
It was crazy times. Do you remember you guys wore like I always loved the garage outfits that we all had.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the
Overalls.
Roman
Jumpsuits,
customizing
yeah.
shirts. You had the overalls, the
Oh, yeah.
jumpers. Remember the jumpers?
Yeah, but with it flipped down because that's a really important part of it because that's what you do. It's really important if you're a mechanic to have everything that's protective flip down so that
Exactly.
anything hot
Tank
can land
tops.
on your
Yep.
skin.
Yep.
And then I always had a strategic. I was showing my husband this. I showed him a scene from the show, and I said I always had like a strategically placed little smudge.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
hair down, like a mane of hair down, which is
Yeah.
also good while you're working on engines. It was very
Oh, yeah.
realistic. I think I appreciated that above everything
We-
else was the just sheer realism of all of it.
Oh yeah.
The first season of that show, there was a lot of hair going on between your hair and
Oh,
my
yeah,
hair.
yours too.
I basically had the volume in my hair was almost the volume in your hair. It was look. Hey! Oh my gosh. Dude, that's
Unbelievable.
crazy. Liz, that's crazy. Isn't it crazy how fast 25 years can go by? Right?
Yeah,
mean,
but it's also weird because I don't know what happens with the way that time shifts because it doesn't feel that long since I've seen you. Like it just sort of seems like it's because I spent so much time with you guys,
I know.
so much time on and
I
off
know.
set. So
I
it just
know.
doesn't feel like that much time possibly could have passed, but it did.
I
And we
know.
had crazy guest stars. I was thinking about this too. You know, Bryan Cranston was on the show.
Yeah.
I know.
Right? How crazy
You know,
is that?
he used to live around here, and I would see him at the car wash, and he remembered that. Like he would talk about it, and he was totally cool. And yeah, he's awesome. He's
I know,
really awesome.
I know, and I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him on the show. He actually thanked us.
Yeah,
I know.
he did.
He said, "Hey, listen, I really want to give you a great opportunity for letting me be here today." I was like, "Yeah, great."
I know.
No
I
idea.
know.
Just thinking like, "You're so talented." I said, "Oh, of course, it's great." Had no idea.
A couple
I
weeks after that, he got Malcolm in the Middle as the father.
Wow.
Well, he's just I met him in New York. When I was living in New York, I was doing a soap opera, and I met him, I think, when I was 16 or 17 years old, and he was the nicest guy, and he wasn't working that much at the time. And you know how sometimes when you meet people, they sort of get preserved in amber the way that you met them, despite what happens later in life.
Yes.
So every time I see him on anything, I swear to God, my first thought is, I hope he's found work. I'm like, oh wait,
he's doing all right, Liz. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Hey, I hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, he broke later in life.
Well, Gene Hackman was 50, I think, when he did his first role.
Yeah, so
Think about that.
isn't that wild?
Gene Hackman.
That really kind of just sums up in one little nice package of, if you stick it out.
Yeah,
and just keep sticking
Yeah,
it
if you
out.
stick it out, you might get a couple of years.
You might get it.
A lifetime for a few years. Why not? Doesn't No, it's worth it.
if you stick it out and you're talented.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yes,
Like,
that's
true. It helps. It helps.
It
Yeah.
took me 80 years to achieve.
If you're not Bryan Cranston, it's probably not going to happen. That's true. I mean, the guy is so talented. He
He's
can do
very
everything.
talented,
I mean,
true.
drama, comedy. I mean, he's funny as hell, but he's also
Very
a really
serious.
good dramatic
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
And I remember that Sarah Silverman was on the show. She
Yeah,
was.
she
She
was.
was.
And wasn't didn't we have Estelle Getty as well? Was it
Oh,
Estelle
yeah,
Getty?
Estelle
Did have
Getty.
Estelle
Did have
Getty.
Estelle.
Wow.
Tom Arnold was on it.
Tom Arnold. We had Nell Carter
Nell
on
Carter.
there.
Yep.
Terry Bradshaw was
Terry
on there.
Bradshaw.
Her
Wow.
mom tried to set me up with Tom Arnold too, by the way.
Oh my God!
Really?
What?
Yes.
Mom!
Yes, she did.
What the hell?
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's interesting.
Your mom
Wow.
tried to set me up with everybody. Your
Oh
mom tried
my
to get me married off.
God.
Oh my.
I wish is she here? I want to see her.
She's
No.
not.
Oh,
she's
she's
not.
working.
She's
She teaches
working.
school. She teaches the little kids reading.
Yeah.
We put her to work.
We put her to work. Yeah.
I really
mean, who's
tried
going to pay for this place?
Mom!
It's a Friday in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
We're down here in the basement talking to you. We need someone to make the money around here.
Good.
Mom, pay the power bill.
Mom, Meatloaf.
Mom, we got no lights in this podcast
Meatloaf,
studio.
Mom. I don't know what she's doing.
I never know what she's doing up
Go
there.
to work, Mom.
Oh my God.
Does she still have very long blonde hair? Does she?
She
still-
hasn't
course.
changed a bit.
My mom
Same-
literally is a time
hasn't changed.
capsule.
Yeah, she hasn't changed.
has shoes that are 47 inches tall.
Too
and-
tall.
Yes, too tall.
Yep.
She's just
Yeah.
and the same hair.
Yeah, same
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome.
It
Please
chases the
give her
guys
my
around.
ring.
Chases the guys around the house. Her hair chases them around. It's like
It forms its own little creature as it collects and becomes a being in itself.
true.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, she's going to be very upset that
I know.
that she didn't get to see you today. You know.
Well, tell her that I'm sending a lot of love, and I would love to see her. I saw her. I actually seen her more recently than I saw you guys. I think I saw her. I ran into her at a restaurant in the Valley, probably 6 or 7 years ago, I guess. And she did look
Really?
exactly the same. Like, it was astonishing how much the same she looked. She didn't change at all.
It
But
is
was really
wild.
good to see her.
It is wild. There are certain people that don't really change that much. You know, honestly.
You're
Like,
one of them.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
one of
Well,
them.
you're one.
I wish
You
I could say the same about myself, but
Well,
I've
when you're
changed.
comparing yourself to your 5-year-old self,
But
it's
you
hard
say you
not to
hadn't
change.
changed since you were 7. That would be a little bit weird. So
Hey,
I'm
guys.
Oh,
kind of happy
God.
to see it.
I look the exact same. You really do, and it's creepy. Oh, the man child. It's like
Preserve.
Boss Baby.
Take all these weird
Here's
drugs.
the deal, Joe.
Keep me young looking.
Yeah, yeah.
And Matt, you've changed. You've definitely changed. But all I remember, the biggest thing I remember about you is thinking what I remembered about each one of you. And I remember Andy, you would do impersonations all the time,
Oh,
Yes.
God.
and you would dance on my shoes. Like there were, like you would stand on my shoes, and we would dance occasionally. Which
Yeah.
now we can't do that anymore. But it was.
You
it was very
could. It
sweet.
would just probably
Matt
fall into
had
that creepy
lizards.
vibe again. Yeah.
Matt
Me?
had lizards.
And
Still
that,
does.
That has not changed.
We got a lot of them.
Not
We
yet.
got
Everywhere.
a lot
In
of
fact,
lizards.
In fact, here's something crazy for you.
Oh,
I
boy.
still have one of the iguanas that I did
Oh boy.
back then. Still with me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
they can live to 50, if you take care of them properly.
What's his or her name?
Jomo.
I'd love to say I remembered that, but I don't.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. And I also have a tortoise that is also from that era as well, still with me. Because they live for hundreds. I mean, they can live 130, 140 years. So they'll outlive me.
That's-
And
Yep.
That's incredible.
Isn't there a tortoise that's 180 years old?
Yeah.
I just read that there's a
Yeah,
tortoise
yeah,
that's
yeah.
180-year-old
He's
tortoise.
the only sole surviving member of his genome from the particular island in the Galapagos. He's the only saddleback. Because saddleback, they used to, when they used to go through the Galapagos, it was a trading stop, right, between Australia and Asia and the Americas.
Right.
They'd stop at the Galapagos and restock their ships with water and tortoises, because you could put a tortoise on a boat. Tortoise doesn't need to eat for 6 months, so it would stay fresh and alive, and then they could eat the tortoise.
Jesus.
But they took so many from one island, and each island, Galapagos, it's Darwin's, finches. It's the same thing. The finches, the lizards, and the tortoises all have small different characteristics on every island that they are, and that's how.
Are you explaining Darwinism to us?
Yeah, that's how Darwin, derived.
This is where we cut to commercial.
Adaptation,
by the way, we're going to cut to a commercial break.
Anyway,
we'll be right back.
The specific saddleback tortoise that you're talking about, he's the last of his genome. In fact, I think they might have found one other one that they didn't know existed that was walking around the island. But if he's not the only, there's only two.
Well, you're talking about the tortoise that's in the Galapagos right now. Yeah, we met him. We went on a trip.
You did?
10 years ago, we went to the Galapagos Islands. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's like my main bucket list I haven't done.
Yeah, you got to do it. We did a National Geographic boat. Like, it's not, because it was funny because we were looking into, because you want to do a boat, either that or fly from island to island, but and the boat's kind of cool. So we were looking, and one of the boats was like, oh, it's great because we have karaoke and napkin folding. And we were like,
napkin folding?
No. So no, we did National Geographic. We did like the rough and tumble boat. It was really great.
I like
you
it.
have to
That
do
sounds
this trip.
cool.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I've looked into it. I've almost had it booked. I mean,
what is this tortoise's name?
George, I think. Am I correct?
Something like that?
Or is it Jonathan?
Maybe it's Jonathan.
It might be Jonathan. I'd have to look it up.
Jonathan. What a weird name for it. Hello, Jonathan.
It's pretty cool. But wait, Joey, what I remember about you specifically?
Oh, God.
You showing off your abs all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All the time. I remember Andy impersonations, Matt lizards, Joey abs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember
It's
it.
about right.
That's weird. That escapes me. Do these abs make me look fat? That's my favorite line ever. Do these abs make me look fat? No, but well, gee whiz. Yeah. What a great memory. Joey, I remember how vain you were when you were showing me your abs. Oh, gosh, Joey.
No, there was a trainer. There was a trainer named Rick that you were friends with.
Oh, my gosh! Liz, how do you remember that? Rick.
Margie's? He was a funny guy, this guy.
God,
he's the one that actually said that Cliffhanger is
arguably the greatest movie of all time.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's his favorite movie. It's true.
Yep.
Margie's and Cliffhanger cannot go wrong.
Yep. Oh,
Unbeatable night if you combine Margaritas
That's
with the movie
hysterical.
Cliffhanger.
Oh, it's great.
That's
his favorite movie was Cliffhanger, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, because arguably it is the greatest film of all time. And I was like, oh my God, it's awesome. You're serious?
I mean, it's a good movie. I don't know.
It's a good movie, but
greatest of all time.
I mean, I don't know.
It's so much like Citizen Kane. So, I mean, they're practically like...
It's almost, you literally can't even tell the two
apples to apples.
Apples to
apples. It's all based on the same book. So, like, that is nuts.
That's. I can't believe you remember Rick the trainer.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I have a weird memory for certain things. Other things I just can't remember, but I like certain details just stick. Like I remember that Rick was the first person I'd ever met who had one of those, those things you can put over your license plate so that technically, like ostensibly, they can't take a picture of it to get a ticket.
That sounds like Rick.
I was Rick.
Yeah.
Because he had I'm telling you, the memory is really weird.
Wow.
I just remember thinking, why does he
remember.
have this brown thing over his license plate?
Yes.
Wow. Weird. Yeah, I don't even.
Well, it's because he was also a criminal. No, I'm just kidding.
He might have
hung
been
out with a
running
lot
from
of
the law.
We hung out with a lot of criminals back in the day.
Oh my gosh! I had a real rowdy bunch. Mark Wahlberg had the funky bunch, and I had a rowdy bunch. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that. I can't.
That is an
believe
interesting
that.
fact to remember.
I don't show off my abs anymore ever. So. Ever. I still work on them, but they just don't look like they
He
used
keeps
to,
them hidden, composed.
I try to keep them.
I keep them on ice.
I keep them on ice, yeah. They're there if I need them. Oh, God, what a weird conversation.
Since then, I got, because I wasn't really into any of that at the time, but now I run. Now I do marathons and all sorts of stuff. Like, I got much more athletic the older I got. It's been sort of a life.
Yeah, you look shredded there.
I actually read that you're running, and then you did a doc on it.
I did a documentary about
cool.
God, it was right after my mom passed away. I needed to do something that made me happy. Basically, I needed to put some good into the world because I wasn't feeling it, and I wanted to do something about. I'd met a runner who was 70, and she was talking about doing the New York City Marathon, And I couldn't, like, I didn't even know that that was possible. And then I started looking around and I was finding these like 60, 70, 80, and 90-year-olds doing these races. And not only doing these races, but like kicking ass at these races. Like
Amazing.
the first woman who ran the Boston Marathon, literally the first woman, because it was a male race for the longest time. She busted in, she got kicked out, ran back in. I mean, she's amazing. Her name's Catherine Switzer. And she was in the documentary, but she ran the New York City Marathon the year before I did, and her time was so much better. Like, she kicked my ass. And I'm not a slow runner. She kicked my ass at the age of 70. Like, some of these people, they're, you know, I think that there's sort of this preconceived notion that as people age, they get cute, you know, like they just, and everybody thinks, oh, they're so adorable. There are a lot of really fierce people out there past a certain age that can show you what's possible. And I just found that so completely and utterly inspiring. So yeah, I did a documentary, which in hindsight was just nuts, because I'd never done, like, I did it, I had a crew, obviously, but I did all the post-production by myself. And it got to the point where the distributor would call me and be like, here, this is what we need for deliverables. We need it in this form. We need it in this form. And I was Googling everything as they were talking to me, going, yeah, I can get you that. Oh yeah, no, I think it'll take 4 weeks. I mean, like, I was training myself as I was doing it. It was nuts. I've never worked harder in my life, but it was really cool. It was
that is so cool. What is it called?
It's called The Human Race. And
Human Race.
It's
cool.
everywhere.
I've actually seen it. I've not actually watched, but I've seen it. Like, I've seen it, the documentary. It's come across before. That's why I know, because I was looking at, I'm into docs, and I was looking at, and when I saw your name attached, I was like, what? That's why I know it, because but yeah, I came across it. I will watch it though.
You should watch it. I think it's really inspiring. It's the reason that I ran a marathon, because I was watching all these people, and they said, you know, do you want to come run this? We can sort of grandfather you in since you featured it in the documentary. So I had to say yes, but because I'd never, I mean, 26.2 miles.
I know. I want to run. I want to run
over
one
the course of a week, or what do you do?
No, dude, I want to run one so bad. I really do.
It's insane. And then you meet these people. Like, one guy that I followed, he was running a 50-mile race all above 14,000 feet in the Colorado mountains. And he was 56 years old.
Cool.
And he was doing, the race is unbelievable. Like, I was exhausted following the guy.
Yeah.
And then there's an 80-year-old who, for her 80th birthday, she did a half marathon. So she's out there doing 13.1 miles at 80 years old. Like, it's really incredible what these people can do.
The guy that I've been working out with is Tony Horton, is 65 years old. And I swear to God, like, I've never seen somebody more fit.
Yeah.
This guy, I was a complete schlub like 3 months ago, and he's just put me through the ringer, and he is so fit and strong and can do things that I didn't even know humans could do, let alone this 65-year-old guy running circles around me. So to your point, that age group is fierce. And if you keep up with it, and you know, your mind is the most powerful thing, you can really, you can still compete at that age. You absolutely can. If not, you can do better. Like, he can kick my ass. So I mean, I can't even.
Well, I think it's the constraints. You know, I think
65
people, especially the generations before us, they had these constraints that, like, they hit 40s and 50s, and then they were old, and that was it. And you stopped moving, and you retired, and I'm telling you, that's not the way to go. That whole thing, use it or lose it, is for real.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's true. And for mental health as well. Like, that was the other thing that I found out, because I thought all these people were doing it for their physical health. One woman, everybody in her family had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and it was the 80-year-old. And she said, I'm literally running from Alzheimer's. I don't want to get Alzheimer's.
100%.
That's it.
Talking to her more, it was even more about mental health. You know, it was about keeping her focused and giving her a purpose at that age. And she would get up and run with her running club every morning. And, you know, she had to be there with them.
Yes, the community too. Like, you build a community, and you can make new friends, which is harder to do as you get older. And it's all about the mental and inside, and it's really awesome. It's really.
And honestly, the biggest problem for me is, like, I like to be in shape and fit, but if I get into that week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks where I haven't worked out, it's not that it's all this physical stuff that I'm missing. It's, I can tell I'm slipping mentally. Truthfully, like, I'm starting to go back into those bad patterns where I'm talking really bad to myself about myself, or I'm starting to be tired all day, and it's like, and then I start working out again, and it fixes everything, and it's like,
you
wait
talk
a minute,
to yourself about yourself.
Yeah, you know, that inside voice, that
Yeah.
inner voice that usually sometimes can get really negative and get really hard on yourself.
Trying to not make jokes here, but yeah.
I know.
Trying, dude.
How many voices?
I talk to myself in the corner all the time, and I just go into this dark place where I'm just talking to myself constantly like, hey, Matt, you're not working. Are you actually doing this?
Like Gollum?
Exactly.
Matty,
But no, I don't want to go.
but you need to go, Matty.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go. Get into the gym. You're right. I'm a louse. You're a total louse.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad I'm
Wow.
glad you're not doing that.
Yeah, no.
Because that would make, we want to commit you if you did that, probably.
Yeah, nice padded. You'll be running in a padded room. I can't get anywhere. I just keep bumping into these walls.
Bounce it off of
We
them.
know, Matt. We know it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But actually, going back to Tony Horton, the guy can kick my ass for sure. I mean, I'm supposed to be
yeah.
I've always been in pretty good shape. I feel like I can pretty much do a lot of things physically. I mean, the guy has 20 years on me, right, and just obliterates me. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And some of these people, when they run marathons, they put their age on their calves, like with magic marker. And I got to tell you, it's a little disconcerting when you're watching somebody pass you and it's just
Right.
like 67 on their calf.
No way.
Oh, damn it.
I
But,
know.
yeah,
Isn't it wild? It is
definitely
wild.
inspiring. So you should watch it. You should watch the documentary. It's called
Yeah,
Human
We
Race.
absolutely will.
And everybody out there, watch the
American-
Human Race.
Yeah,
Watch
go
the
check it
Human
out.
Race,
We
everybody.
absolutely
It
will.
really is
Human
important,
race.
guys. And they always say too, the human body was designed to walk and run. That's what we were designed to do. And when we don't do those things, we really truly suffer. And when you get out there doing something like that, it can change your life. It can change your whole outlook on life. It's really true.
A body
vitamin D
emotion-
that you get. I mean,
a body
it's
emotion
so-
will stay in
it's so-
motion.
Everything.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
so
large.
important.
And you guys both cut Liz off, and so did I, because we're
Sorry,
horrible at
Liz.
that. So go ahead, Liz.
No,
What were
I
you
was just going to say that I had the benefit. I'm married to a camera operator, so it was also really cool because I take it back. We did work together on that.
Hey! Yeah, he shot it.
Yeah, he shot it. So
Cool.
that was it was incredible, and it worked out really well. But it was definitely a life-changing experience, and I also really liked directing. It was the first time I'd ever directed anything,
Very cool.
and I dug it.
And
Yeah.
you said you wrote something else. You wrote a script during the pandemic too, or so you got into writing. You just went full steam with the writing for a while, right? That sort of took precedence.
I sold my 8th pilot last year, which
Woo!
was that's been going really well
8?
through Mayim Bialik's company.
No way!
How
Yeah.
crazy synergy is that?
Wow,
Yeah. Isn't
that's
that crazy?
That's
Super cool.
crazy.
I love
That's
it.
So crazy.
So and then I wrote this movie over the pandemic that was for Kay Cannon wrote Pitch Perfect, and she has a production company, and I wrote something for her company, and we have a
Wow.
director attached, and we're looking for the lead actor to attach, and so it's been great. I mean, it's been sort of transformative. It's been like really good year.
Listen, are you guys writing anything for three wild and crazy guys?
3 wild and crazy brothers, charming.
We don't have to play brothers. We
No.
really don't look that much alike anymore. We could be like friends that people say, hey, you guys are like brothers. Like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
But we're not the writers. We'll let you write it. I mean, we're just spitballing here.
That's why I'm here. This is all just one big audition. I just wanted to see.
It's audition tape.
Hey, perfect. That's it. So 8? You've written 8 pilots?
That's huge. That's
That's
awesome.
Now I
amazing.
just gotta get one. I gotta get one to stick on the air. That's
Yeah,
the
well,
next-
but that's the thing though. It's good. It takes 10.
12.
12.
Look, that's the lottery, right? One is writing it and selling it.
50. I mean,
Right,
Matt,
the
what are
second-
you talking about?
The lottery win is that you write it and you sell it, right? The second lottery win is that you actually can pilot it. And then the third lottery win is
Yeah,
that
it's
gets
true.
picked up the series. And then the fourth win is that it's a hit and it stays on the air. And that's how rare it is to have a show that's on the air and is a hit show. It's
Yeah.
almost impossible,
Well, it's funny when I remember I was on some show that was canceled, and after Brotherly Love, I did a series of shows that were canceled after 6 episodes. It got to be like clockwork. Like it was just 6 and out. And
Yeah.
I remember that my mother was dating somebody at the time, and he actually looked me in the eye and he goes, "Why don't you get on a show like Friends?" And I was like, "Marika, why don't I just get on a show like Friends?"
Yeah.
Number one show in the country.
Incredible idea.
Wow.
I'll just do that. Yeah. it's a
Solid.
funny misconception.
Solid advice.
You know,
Yeah.
That is
Good advice.
Why don't you get on a show like
Great
Friends?
advice.
Why don't
I was thinking Seinfeld, but let me think
Yeah.
about it. Maybe
know
I'll
what?
retool.
You're making a lot of sense right now. I know why my mom's hanging out with you. Smart guy. No, that's so funny. Why don't you get a show like Friends?
I know if it was only so simple.
One of the
It's-
basically the top 2 or 3 shows ever. So perfect.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good call. Good call.
It was as if he thought I was reading things going, I think I'll take this because it'll probably get canceled. Yeah, I'll
Right.
take this because it's going to get canceled. This is definitely not going to go. And
Right.
then somehow telling me to pick a show like Friends, I would be
That's
like,
hilarious.
oh.
Oh yeah, so He was complaining that your picker was off.
Yes.
Exactly.
He's like, Liz, you're picking the worst stuff here.
I'm sort of a 5-6 episode gal. I don't really want to do anymore. I mean, 5-6 weeks I get a little bored with the character.
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta keep it fresh.
Yeah, mix it up. No, that's it is. I'm telling you, there's been a few that I've been on that have gotten over 100, 120, 130. That's something. But when you get these shows. My middle daughter, Libby, who is 13, is binge watching Grey's Anatomy. Okay, it's so funny how my daughters have gone back and like a couple years ago was The
Grey's
Office.
Anatomy.
Yeah, they found it's huge now with her age group, right? Yeah. So, but like 3-4 years ago was The Office, and all the teenagers that's why The Office became the #1 show in the world again.
Oh, wow.
In like 2019, it was crazy, right?
I know, and all the kids think that that joke where you end it with, that's what she said. You know that joke, right? It's been around for 50 years. All the kids, the teenagers, think it came from The Office.
Yeah.
And they try to like one-up me with a joke, and they're like, that's what she said. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And like, what? Did you hear it on The Office too? I was like, no, I heard it 30 years before The Office.
Yeah.
It always just makes me angry, sorry.
But it's incredible. But that show, the reason why I went down that weird rabbit hole is because I was looking at it. I said, what season are you on? She was like, I'm on season 6, episode 11 or whatever it is. And I looked at the episodes. 431 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. They're going into their, I think they have 20 seasons.
Oh, my goodness.
431. I mean, you talk about a lottery ticket. Like, oh my gosh.
It's wow. Yeah, it's almost become like one of those days of our lives.
Well,
or something.
SVU, that
How long did
show
ER run?
Mariska Hargitay is on has been on, 22 seasons, 23 seasons?
My goodness.
Yeah.
How long did ER run?
ER was on not that many. Maybe 11 or 12 or something like that.
I got on the CSI train for 5 years there in the middle, but and that was pretty amazing because
That's awesome.
That is
I was so happy because it meant no pilot season for 5 years. I got to sit on one show, and I was relatively sure that my presence on it wouldn't get it canceled. I was like, I don't even think I can take this. Like, I don't even think my presence is going to make this get out there. And lo and behold, it didn't. But it was amazing because then I was off by season 10. I think it went on for 14 seasons, and then it got rebooted. Like, it got rebooted before anybody had a chance to miss it. Like,
Wow.
it was nuts.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I know.
It's
really
incredible. I know. We're going to bring Brotherly Love back.
Well, I was
You
going
ready?
to say, yeah, so that's the
You
next
ready?
one.
You ready? We got the smudges. We got fresh smudges for you. We're going to put a little smudge here. All right?
Jimmy and I
Something's
were talking
wrong.
a lot. I talked to him about it. I said, I can't believe this thing hasn't been rebooted.
I feel like
We
the
should.
Lou's character should own the garage now, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I know.
And we're the ones
We're
that work
working
in
in
there.
it.
Yeah. But it's your garage, so you don't get
You know
smudges.
what?
We get the smudges.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's
not
actually
a bad
really
idea.
funny.
Did you say you were talking to Schmock about it or talking to Valley about
I
it?
was talking to Valerie about it.
Oh.
Hey, I think
We got to have both those guys on.
why don't we reboot it?
And Jimmy's
Jim Valley.
daughter is.
You know you, Jim, and I do that with all love and
Yeah.
respect because he's brilliant. But that's Jim Valley. I think it's the brothers.
Jimmy's
He
daughter's a
hasn't changed
base
at
too.
all.
Yeah.
He
His
has
daughter's
not
awesome.
changed. I saw Jim about maybe 3-4 years ago. Another guy has
Yeah.
not changed.
Yeah.
Literally looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But we should reboot it.
Let's do
I
it.
love it.
I'm down.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You know what? And if we can't get anywhere, it'll just be for us.
But you know what?
Well,
No.
that's-
Guys, I got a feeling we can get that thing at least 5-6 episodes.
At least 5 or 6 episodes.
Hey! No, I think we can.
Put it right there in the basement too, if we have to.
Why
can.
not?
True.
Honestly, here's the deal. The show is beloved, but we only made like 47, 48 episodes
I
of the
know.
show. It's a pretty low barometer. I think we
know.
can pass it.
I think we
we can
can
do
too.
more episodes.
I think so too.
And have a more successful reboot than the original. When's that ever been done?
See?
Pretty hard.
I think the world is clamoring for it, quite frankly.
Well, clearly they are. This pod has exploded.
That's something to think about.
Nobody really has.
Something to think about.
Actually, you know what? Actually,
You never know.
Lou owning the garage is
It's
actually
great.
brilliant.
It's great. I love it.
I'm really glad I came up with
And
that.
the world.
This is how my life works now. This is just it. It's always worked this
Matt,
way, I guess.
Way to go, coming
Yeah.
up with that, right, buddy?
It was
We
wild.
are in it.
I don't
We
know
are
how
in
this
it.
happens.
Annie, listen, we're gonna give you some notes. All right. Wait, no, that was my idea. I said it. Annie, sit down, relax.
I
You're
don't
fine.
know.
Go walk on Liz's shoes. We're good. Get over there.
Haven't you figured it out by now? If any one of us individually comes up with something, then all three of us could take credit for
That's
it.
it. It's
my
one brain.
gosh.
It's one brain.
This is my
That's right.
life.
Look
Yeah,
at
just
Liz.
like, no, but really, seriously, it was my idea.
It was your idea.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
All right. So look, here it is. We've said it now. Honest to God, like no bullshit. We'll start. It could be really fun to do that. Actually, I mean, and there is no show like that on television. In the
you know what?
garage.
I mean, it could work.
It could.
I never really thought about this. We were always trying to go like, just try to do something different. But I
It
never
actually
really
could
thought
really
about
work.
that. Yeah.
Actually, could really work.
The old expression, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. Except in the garage, because that's where we fix a lot of things.
Ooh.
Ah?
They are broken.
Well, we gotta let it stew out there. You never
We
know.
should.
Let's release it into the universe and see what happens.
You know what we'll do when we wrap up this episode? We'll talk and we'll.
I thought you were going to say, you know what we'll do is when we wrap up this episode, we'll reach out to the networks.
No.
We'll set it up, and we'll have you out here in a couple weeks. We'll start shooting some episodes.
Liz, can you come back and can you come in studio and say hello? Can we hang out one of these days soon?
I would love to.
We'll
love
make
to
sure
see
my
you.
mom
Thanks
is
for
here
doing it.
so we can do
Thank
the
you for doing it
full.
via Zoom today, but I want to see you guys in person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we really got to
please.
hang out. We can't let another 25 years go.
No, well, we're not.
And then
First of all, the show will be on the air. The
that's-
reboot
yeah.
will be on the air in a
Yeah.
couple years at the most.
No, I thought you said a couple weeks.
Couple
I
weeks.
thought you were going to say it'll be on in 25 years. I was
No.
like, that's great. That is optimism. No, that is
I'm not.
optimism.
Yeah.
50 years later, we're
Oh.
bringing it out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
TVs don't even exist at that point.
I know.
We'll be doing the stage show on the corner of
yeah. I mean,
Third and
no,
Olympic.
no, we're not. It won't be 50. No, not 25. No, like a couple years. I think we could do it or less.
couple
We'll see.
years. Things move fast now, baby. Ha, cha, 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 cha.
We'll do it. I'm actually excited about it. I actually think that'd be a really cool idea.
Could be a cool
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I think.
All
If you, well, look. If nothing else, we came up with that. We have this.
Exactly.
We're gonna.
You got to come in studio. You got to come in here.
Yeah.
We got to
All
see
right.
it. Or let's go grab a bite at
Oh, we can
Hugo's
do
or
that,
something.
for sure. We'll bring the mics. It's like, what? Joe, you don't do anything without mics now?
We sit down
how
in
are
the
ya?
restaurant.
Welcome to Casa Vega, everybody. All right, let's bring the mics in. Hey, I thought we were having dinner. We are. Sam, can we...
Roll the cameras.
Our tech will be here. He's going to get everything together for us. We'll just record
I
that.
want to see you guys, but I want to see your mom too.
I know.
Yeah.
She's going to freak out.
Yeah, she
We
would.
got to make it happen.
Absolutely. It's so great to see all three of you again.
Yo,
Liz.
so
You
good
too,
seeing
Liz.
you too, Liz.
We love
How
you.
big
So
has
much
this hour
fun.
been? Hour like that. That's
Oh,
it. I know. We did it. We did it.
And we only got 2 more to do now.
That's right.
We do 3-hour pods now.
We're doing it's a three-parter. Three-parter with Liz Vassey, everybody.
Liz,
All right.
hopefully you're comfortable because we got another 2 hours to go.
That's
No.
right. We're going to be talking about everything from this pumpkin to that plant. It's going to be Matt made this plant. He's very
Oh,
happy
no.
about it.
We got to wrap this up. We got to wrap
He
this up.
made it. He
We're already
made this
over.
plant.
We're already over. Liz, we love you so much.
Yes.
We can't wait to see you.
So good to see you.
It's been too long.
It has. It has.
Love to all three of you, and yeah. So we'll call the network like right after. I'll call the network right after.
You
I get
do
on.
it.
I
do it.
literally just texted
Do it.
them. I
Yeah.
just texted
Yep.
them.
Call-
Oh, they responded.
Monday
Hey,
for
we're into
yourself.
it. NBC just said
Sold.
we're into it. We have
Wow.
nothing else. So we're good. The pilots we shot are horrible. Please help us. Okay.
Oh, but we have to pay for the pilot ourselves. Turns out, yep.
Yeah, deficit finance.
Yep.
No problem.
No worries.
Anyway, we're leaving. That's it.
All right, guys, thank you
Liz,
so much.
We love you
Liz,
so
thank
much.
you.
We'll be
Vassey,
in touch,
everybody.
seriously,
Yeah.
and we'll go out to dinner, and we'll get you back in here. My mom will be here. It'll be great.
We
All
love
right,
you. Weekend,
Love you,
everybody.
Liz.
Thank you for listening to the Brotherly
God bless
Love
everybody
Pod.
out there. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week on the
Thank
Brotherly Love
you.
Pod. Have a great weekend, y'all. See you soon. Bye.
See ya.
Hey guys, the Lawrence brothers here.
We just want to thank you for watching this week's episode of the Brotherly Love Pod.
Go to our link tree and subscribe on all platforms.
And make sure you join us
Next week.